October the 5th, 2020. As you're looking at the National Hurricane Center's chart, here's 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We have Gamma here that's kind of hugging the coastline of the Yucatan Peninsula. And when a storm has a foot on shore, it's very difficult for it to strengthen, but it's playing its part. It's the front scout. Gamma would be, if you want to change it back to the English language, you could say Gamma's the front scout and Delta's the rear guard. Delta is a Cat 1 hurricane at 75 miles per hour, 980 millibars pressure. It is moving north or west-northwest at 8 miles an hour. Now, Gamma, again, it's slowed down, 35-mile-per-hour storm. It is moving southwest. That's towards the Bay of Campeche in this direction. And it is slower than Delta, but it was 2 miles an hour this morning as far as forward speed. So it still is picking up forward speed, but it's not picking up the strength of the storm itself. But once it leaves or gets 1 foot off the Yucatan Peninsula, gets into the Bay of Campeche, it's expected to wrap up with Delta. Now, Delta's also changed in its projection, and let's take a look at that. And what we're seeing here is now a hurricane, and then it was going to become a category. This morning, let me back up. This morning, it was going to become a Category 1 around 2 a.m. Wednesday, but now it's a Cat 3. When you go from H to M, major hurricane, it's a minimum Cat 3, okay? Remain a Cat 3 until about 2 p.m. Thursday here in the Gulf of Mexico. The reason they're saying that it's weakening, I'm not sure. It may be mixing with a cold front. Still has it coming ashore as a hurricane and coming up through Louisiana and straight up through Mississippi. You can see, and as we've talked about many times, that the path can change in this white area. You see in the white cone, that means the center could go from this side of the cone to this side. And we've seen it many times, guys. When they come in here, they will take a hard right if you don't watch them. Remember Sally, all of my friends along the coast. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But now, a major Cat 3 hurricane minimum. Now, that's up until 2 a.m. Thursday. Late, or as you go to bed Wednesday night, you're going to wake up with a very powerful hurricane. I'm not sure if it's going to, again, it's going to mix with the first system, the Fujihara effect. And they're going to yo-yo together more or less and spin and rotate in that vortex and move up ashore. We don't need it here at this point. We do need some rain. It's been dry. But we don't need another storm like Sally. But this is Mother Nature, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Just report it. Now, let's look at the spaghetti models. This is updated 6 minutes ago at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we see by the Navy model and 3 other models that they're pretty close to coming in across Louisiana into our area here in central Mississippi. After it loops around with 1 foot ashore in the Yucatan, slowing down. And what it's going to do, and you can see this pull back and forth. And from the TABD model, guys, that's in this pink, it illustrates exactly what's going to happen. Rotate in here, then pulled up by the second storm, pull back. It shows this one coming through Jacksonville. And really, at this point in the game, anywhere along the Gulf Coast could be affected. We know from experience that these models change. The closer it gets, and the more that they come together in an area like this, Louisiana, keep an eye on it. Now, I mentioned this yesterday in the videos. The Navy model is this purple line that loops down towards the Bay of Campeche, doesn't quite reach it, then pulls back up and moves into Mississippi and Louisiana. This dip is it's recognizing the first storm, and it's, again, the Fujihara effect of where they combine and then pull up together. And when they combine, we've got a Cat 3 minimum now. And looking at this 8 p.m. update Eastern Time, again, Cat 3 by Wednesday at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's tomorrow night after midnight. Cat 3 coming in. And by Thursday, 2 p.m., 110-mile-an-hour storm. But look at here, it reaches 120 miles an hour and then slows down. Is it because of the wobble effect at this point of the Fujihara effect mixing with the first storm? So you got gamma and delta. And it's, again, 75-mile-per-hour winds now. It surprises me not because of the time of the season, because hurricane season moves through the end of November, but because of the cooler pattern that we're seeing. But today, as it has been cooler, but you could feel the heat being pushed off the Gulf of Mexico and the humidity from gamma, the first storm. But guys, this is what we're dealing with. Let's take a quick look at the satellite images. And taking this this wide area satellite image and taking a look at it, guys, you can see a lot of things that are going on. First of all, as we saw in the video this morning, this storm was headed up to Tampa, north of there. Now, a second wave, guys, has broken off from the center circulation. Very powerful thunderstorms here. Not that large, but when you add rain upon rain, you start to have problems with flooding. You start to have problems with some of your larger oak trees and things like that, and the saturated ground getting blown over easier. But here is where we're going to have the problem, right there. There's delta. So as they combine and move up through here, guys, you're going to have to pay attention to it. When you get into a Cat 3, and even though they showed it slowing to a Cat 2 possibly before landfall, you have the inertia effect. So when you have a Cat 3 very powerful 120-mile-per-hour storm, it's pushing everything out in front of it. Even if it slams to a complete stop, all of that forward motion out in front of it is still there. So I'm watching in the next few days for them to start putting up some storm surge information. Let's take a look at one of the most accurate models on the planet. It's the U.S. Navy model, and it should be very accurate. You've got the storm coming ashore on the 9th. That's next Friday, but it's going to be getting very close Thursday on the 8th. We're seeing gamma, guys, come into the peninsula right here, weakening, but suddenly, as delta pulls up behind it, they combine into the Fujihara effect. It's a new term this year, but we've had to use it a lot. And that's what we're dealing with. And if you look at it again, we'll stop it on the timestamp. Look at your bottom right. Here, the 9th. Okay? Step it forward. Still the 9th. It's still moving fast. Look how far ashore it is. One more step here. It's pretty much over central Mississippi, our area. Again, I want to say this. We know this model will change somewhat left or right, east or west. But when the Navy and the Canadian model, they start combining, then we need to pay very close attention to it. But again, it's been a weird year. It's going to be an even weirder year because of grand solar minimum, the weakened shields. The sun is flipping its magnetic poles. It affects the magnetics here on our planet. That's what we're seeing, guys. But we're watching it. You watch it. We will update it. It's a heads up. Be safe.